Welcome back to Soccer Republic. There were 5 non-league teams in the last 16 of the Irish Daily Mail FAI Cup. We're going to check on 4 of them right now. Athlone travelled to Dublin to take on Sheriff. Kester United were away to fellow non-league side Talka Rovers. But we're going to start with Longford's trip to Buncrana and their meeting with Cockhill Celtic.
Cockhill Celtic are just beginning their Ulster Senior League campaign, but they gave the 2-time winners quite a fright. Davy O'Sullivan got the better of Ger McLaughlin before shooting narrowly wide. The Donegal side, though, were not in the slightest bit overawed. Brendan McLaughlin robbed Kevin O'Connor, and Mark Moran's shot was saved by Paul Hunt. There was no gulf in class between the Inishowen side and their more illustrious visitors, though Longford did have more chances in the opening half. A sharp save there by Gavin Cullen in the Celtic goal. The crowd in the Charlie O'Donnell Sports Ground were getting good value, and Longford were unlucky not to go ahead when Sullivan's cross was met by Gary Shaw's volley. An easy save for Cullen to keep it scoreless at the break. Cockhill had the chance to go ahead, but Peter Doherty's header was narrowly wide. Longford manager Tony Cousins looking worried. The vital opening goal came on 65 minutes. The corner found Davy O'Sullivan. His shot was going in before James Bradley helped it on its way. One for the dubious goals panel, that. It was Sullivan's goal for me. But this is where the Donegal side's luck ran out. Aidan O'Donnell did well in the build-up, and the long-range shot deflected off Mark Rossiter. Well, Paul Hunt, he couldn't believe his luck as the ball ended up in his grateful hands. Understandably, the home fans were getting excited now, and Cockhill's Paul McKinney had his shot blocked by Conor Powell. Surely a handball, but referee Michael Connolly may not have seen it. Powell's hands looked to have been in an unnatural position. Maybe the assistant had a better view, but they're the kind of decisions that tend to go in favour of the bigger clubs. And the clincher duly arrived on 85 minutes. O'Connor's shot was blocked by Bradley. Khalim Simon's early cross found Lorcan Shannon, and he squeezed it in. Celebrations for the Premier League side, or was it relief?
Aye, fine line. I don't know if it was 2 own goals or the second one. I'm not too sure how it went on. I made a save from both of them. I think the rebounds or whatever. So, aye, that's the sort of luck you need up the other end. We had a shot, went off the post, could have went in, and maybe a wee penalty shoot, a couple of free headers. So no, we gave as good as we got. Like, you know, in the end of the day, they're League of Ireland Premier Division team, and we're an Ulster Senior League team, intermediate. So no, we matched them in most areas.
I think in these games the first goal is crucial, and that's what we had said beforehand. And you know, when it didn't go in for us in the first half, you're hoping it's going to be your night. But thankfully they kept plugging away the players, and you know, we got that goal. And I thought we negotiated the game well to finish it out in the end.
An early chance for Kester in blue at Frank Cook Park. Striker David Lacey flashing a header just wide. These 2 Leinster Senior League sides had caused upsets in round 2. Talka knocked out Waterford United, while Kester accounted for Cove Ramblers. Kester eventually made the breakthrough. This time Lacey's header found the Talka net. This tie was always going to be an uphill task for Talka Rovers. In recent times, they've lost their manager Paul Doyle and a raft of players, so interim managers Graham Kane and Noel Dempsey had to hastily assemble a youthful squad. And they found themselves 2-0 down before half-time. Alan Talbot with the goal after he was teed up by Lacey. And any issues concerning the outcome were put to bed early in the second half. Lacey got to the ball to touch it home. Lacey, a player of some pedigree, he recently scored the winner for the Irish amateur team in the UEFA Regions Cup final against Croatia at Tallaght Stadium. And not to be outdone by Lacey, Talbot grabbed his second of the game in the closing stages. All too easy as Talbot waltzed his way into the area before stroking the ball to the net. A brave showing from Glasnevin side Talka Rovers, but Kester comfortably advanced to the last 8. Talka Rovers 0, Kester United 4.
In fairness to our players, it was a really good professional job, you know. We really applied ourselves really well, and the players took on the responsibilities we asked them before the game, you know, to take the game very serious and take the game on its merits, that it was the last 16, the biggest cup competition in the country. So a 4-0 result is probably a fair reflection of the game.
Our off the pitch stuff hasn't been ideal into the lead up to the game, but obviously myself and Noel Dempsey, who are the interim managers for tonight, were tasked by the club to take this week's training and prepare for tonight's game, and I think the players that played in the game tonight have been a credit to the club.
Athlone Town in the blue and black were the first to strike in this excellent game. Gavin Boyne and Daniel Purdy setting up Philly Gorman to score on 12 minutes. A fine goal that set the tempo for a really good match. For long periods, the Junior Cup holders were the better side. Kevin Lynch, one of their most effective players, his cross set up the equaliser for Stewie Glenn. Wonder if he's related to the great Saki, who won the Cup 8 times with Shamrock Rovers. These green and white hoops dominated the first half. Mark Higgins cutting inside Stephen Dunn and forcing a great save from Paddy Duncan. Worrying times for Eddie Wallace and his staff. Well, from the resulting corner by Lynch, Joe Flood was unlucky not to score, as Sheriff showed just how they have won 11 trophies in the past 5 years. And with players like Tommy Dunn, it's not surprising. He set up Lynch, but Duncan kept it 1-1 at the break. Good to see Messrs Delaney and Gavin of the FAI at the game, and they saw a different Athlone Town after the interval. Jamie O'Neill getting inside Davy Brown, a fine shot and an even better save from Murphy. Next it was Dunn's early shot that brought the best out of Duncan. John Rock quickly onto the loose ball, but Higgins unable to keep the shot down. Well, Sheriff have many players that could play at a higher level, and there was an element of controversy in the way they went behind. Confusion between Brown and keeper Murphy. Athlone's Thomas Mulrooney fell over the keeper, and referee Robert Harvey quickly pointed to the spot. Gorman duly tucked the penalty away. Town's top scorer, the hero for them. But Sheriff hit back within 3 minutes, and it was John Rock who kept Sheriff in the cup, and deservedly so, even if the Division 1 side finished the stronger. The dangerous ball across the face of goal, and Gorman denied his hat-trick by Murphy's fine save. There was still time for Higgins to test Duncan from very long range, as both these sides deserved another chance.
And tonight it went to extra time and penalties. Aidan Friel sees his penalty saved here by Lee Murphy in Athlone tonight. His second save in the shootout. John Rock then scores to make it 4-3, and Sheriff are into the quarterfinals of the FAI Cup. Quite a night for them. And they'll be celebrating long into the night, I'm sure, but they have a quarter-final to look forward to. And Trevor, the performance of Sheriff, that's where we start, a famous victory for them this evening. They've been knocking on the door for a while, though, haven't they?
They have. We played them, Shamrock Rovers, the last 2 years, and they're an excellent team. I know quite a lot about them, having looked at them. They've excellent players through the team. John Rock, for example. They've really, really good players, and you see, this year they've gone the hard way. They've beaten UCD, they've beaten Waterford, and now they've beaten Athlone. So they'll be well up for the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. Richie, what about the performances of the non-league teams in general? Your view?
It's been very good. I mean, they are hampered slightly because the calendars of the non-league sides is out of sync with the league sides, which, if there is a gap in the fitness or ability levels between non-league and league, which you would expect there would be, that gap has probably widened slightly because the non-league lads are only back training a little while. So it is difficult for them, and Talka in particular, you can have squad changes over the summer which can completely scupper a team's preparations. But to have two sides in it, I don't think it's the number, we're not going to see it often, but huge credit to both teams.
Indeed. Let's go back to the performance of Cockhill Celtic from Donegal. Their 2-0 defeat at home to Premier Division opposition Longford Town did themselves proud. They were, Trevor, a little unlucky. There were a couple of big calls in this match that went against them. Yeah,
they've done great. They've one that hits the post here. They're really unlucky. Pops back into the goalkeeper's hands. He's grateful for that. So they're really unlucky with that shot alone. They've got another chance here with penalty.
I think this is a harsh call. I think the referee got this one wrong. Connor Powell's hands up in the air. Paul McKinney hits the shot. The referee, in fairness to him, was in a decent position. look to us there. We had a couple
Blatant
of
hand, isn't it?
blatant, like there are some decisions you have to have a few looks at the replay before you really have a strong opinion and you can really call it one way or another. This one, real time. We got it right.
Batted it right down,
Yeah.
isn't it?
One look and make your decision. OK, it's time for more action now. We are going to see how 2013 Cup winners Sligo fared on their visit to Cove Wanderers, who were appearing at this stage of the